Story time about how I got my manager fired because I didn't like him. Yeah, this might make me a terrible person, but a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. Was sending me on Instagram. I started working as a wedding planner in a company about 6 months ago. And yes, I've always been very ambitious, but I definitely took it too far this time. In the company, there were other wedding planners as well, and we were all managed by the same person. Let's call him Tom. Tom was an okay manager, but here's the thing. When I met him, I hated him right away. He was lazy and incompetent, and I knew that I could do his job 10 times better. Then I hated him even more when I found out how much money he earned. He was making over $200,000 a year. After a week of working there, I realized what he was doing. He would tell all of the wedding planners to do things throughout the day that added up to being his actual job. But none of us realized it because he was telling all of us individually without the others knowing. But I'm really observant and I realized it right away. I started watching him all the time. He would come into the office really late, would make himself coffee, and practically eat an entire box of cereal at his desk. Once he was finished with that, he would email us our task for the day, which was the stuff that he needed to do. Then he would play video games for 5 hours. Part 2 is Part 2 of how I got my manager fired because I didn't like him. Does this make me evil? Yes. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. Was sending me on Instagram. When I realized he was palming off all his work on the other people, I decided to start documenting all of his laziness. So like I said in part 1, he would spend his morning eating an entire box of cereal. Then he would send emails out telling us what to do for the day, which was everything he had to do for the day. Then for about 5 hours, he would play video games on his laptop. And how did I know this? Every 15 minutes or so, he would go get a snack. So I would run into his office and take a picture of his laptop. He didn't even bother to fake it. You might wonder why no one else noticed. My desk was the closest one to his office. Also, our boss worked remotely and would only come into the office about once a week. And when she would come into the office, he would act completely different. So after documenting all of his activities for about a month, I decided to go to the boss and show her everything. I kept every single text message he ever sent me of him asking me to do something for him. I had all the emails he'd ever sent us. I had videos of him eating a full box of cereal at his desk for about 2 hours. And I had all the pictures I took of his laptop while he was playing video games. And all of it was time-stamped. I asked my boss if we could jump on a call and she said yes. By the way, my boss is amazing. She's a total boss lady and doesn't take crap from anyone, so I knew that she would fire him right away. When we got on the phone, I asked her to check her email and she looked at all the evidence. Then she told me, wow, I'm actually not surprised. I told her that if she gave me the job, I would be extremely productive and get us more clients. She thanked me and called the manager right away. And guess what? The following day, he was not there. My boss called me and thanked me for being honest with her. Part 3 is up. Story time about how I got my manager fired because I didn't like him. Disclaimer, this is not my story time. I was sending me on Instagram. When I finally got my manager fired the next day, my boss called me and thanked me for giving her all the evidence. But I didn't stop there. I asked her if she could consider me for his job and she told me that she would think about it. So I took it a step further. Emailed her the list of new clients that I had brought in and it did the trick. She emailed me back saying that she would give me a chance. That meant that I was now going to get $200,000 a year and that I didn't have to deal with bridezillas anymore. Since I became manager, I've doubled our client list and increased revenue by 12%. I also convinced my boss to give everyone a bonus. I even redecorated the entire office, making it more functional, and everybody loves the new space. I also got myself a fancy 2-bedroom apartment, which has a pool and a sauna, a doorman, and I get massages every single week. And I got myself a very new nice car. I'm currently planning a girls trip for me and my friends to go to Greece. I would have never been able to do all of this had I not gotten that job. So if you're wondering if I feel guilty about getting my manager fired, no, I don't. There's nothing more disgusting than a lazy man. I did check his Instagram after sending this story time. He's gained about 40 pounds and plays video games for a living. Not sure how that works, but good for me. Bye.
After 18 years of marriage, I just found out that my children are not mine. My wife, Kelly, and I have known each other for over 20 years, and I have been married to her for 18. We have 17-year-old twins, a boy and a girl. And I found out that they aren't mine 2 days ago. My kids got those ancestry tests for the family, and we found out that I am not their father. Kelly and I met each other as coworkers at a job right out of college. We both were very ambitious, so after working for a couple of years, we decided to start our own business. We fell in love, and a year after starting our business, we got married. A couple of months into our marriage, we had a massive fight over the direction we wanted to take our business in, and I left our home. She came to me a couple of weeks later, and we compromised. We've been inseparable ever since. Kelly got pregnant around that time. We've been through thick and thin. Our business has been through several hardships, but we weathered them together. We were always there for each other. We could always depend on one another, and I loved her so much. She was a part of me, and I couldn't imagine a life without her. I trusted her absolutely until this happened. Kelly has been crying and apologizing constantly. She told me that during the time we had that fight at the start of our marriage, she got drunk one night and slept with a random guy, and that she has not cheated on me since. The betrayal has left me disoriented. I told Kelly I needed some time to process this, and I'm currently staying at a hotel. I don't know what I'm even doing anymore. The last 2 days have been a blur. I feel like a zombie, completely unable to feel or process anything. I don't intend to abandon my kids. I might not be their father, but I'm still their dad and I love them dearly. My thoughts are a mess, so I'm writing this down to help me process. Kelly has always been a great wife and an excellent business partner. I don't know if I'll be able to look at her the same again or if I'll be the same person. I don't know how to move forward or if I even can.
Me, 29, and Erica, 27, dated for 2 years and have been engaged the last 4 months. After we got engaged, Erica moved into my house. I still pay the mortgage while she pays for utilities, groceries, and household items. After we get married, the plan is to put her on the house so that she gets equity as well. Her friend Leia, 27, and her have been best friends since high school. I don't particularly like Leia, but I've also been cordial as I know she's going to be in my life. My issue is that Leia thinks of my home as hers. Here are a couple examples. She always brings her boyfriend over and he's a sketchball. She talks to me in a very disrespectful way in my own house, like I'm the guest and she and Erica own it. One day I went out to my garage and some of my tools were missing. I checked my camera and Leia and her boyfriend were in my garage with Erica and took some tools with them. I asked Erica and she said they were just borrowing and would return them. I had to reach out multiple times for them to finally return the tools weeks later. I have a nice wine and liquor collection and I was working late one Friday. While I was working, I heard some clinking of bottles together. Erica wasn't home, so I went out to see what was up. Leia was behind my bar. I asked her what she was doing and she said that Erica told her it was okay to borrow a bottle of wine for her party and that she would pay it back. I told her no, that it wasn't alright and to leave. I asked Erica about this and she said, I don't remember telling Leia she could take a bottle, but I might have. I don't remember. I told her at this point I wasn't comfortable with Leia being in my house. Erica sort of understood but also blew me off. Final straw came when I wanted to go hit some golf balls and my clubs were missing. I freaked out because I golf regularly and my clubs are my biggest investment. I went to check the camera again and Leia used my garage code and took the clubs. I called Erica and told her to get them back immediately. Erica said that Leia had asked for the garage code to grab some clothes from her closet but not my clubs. I threatened to call the police but Erica stopped me. Leia kept telling us that her boyfriend needed them for a work thing. I got them back almost 4 days after they were taken and they were dirty. At this point, I sat Erica down and told her that if I see Leia in my house again, that I'm calling the cops, no discussion. Erica got upset saying that it's her best friend and it wasn't fair to do to her in her house. I said it's a pattern and since Erica's stuff isn't affected, she doesn't care. I said that she can go over to Leia's if she wants to see her. She said she can't do this because Leia doesn't like her apartment and Leia's boyfriend is always there, which makes Erica uncomfortable. I'm now getting the silent treatment and getting called an asshole, but I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. Am I the asshole for telling my fiance if I see her friend again that I'm calling the cops?
Somebody skimmed my debit card information recently, stole a bunch of money from my bank account, and I'm obviously really devastated because, like, I don't even know who to be mad at right now, you know? Like, at least the times that I've been mugged in person, the men cowgirled up and did it to my face. They were very authentic about it. They were like, this is my real face. I am robbing you. Okay, you can run now. Just don't scream. And I was like, wow, these guys are excellent communicators. They should teach a seminar. Was I traumatized for life? Yes. But do I respect their authenticity? Also, yes, the person who robbed me this time is faceless. They're probably some gangly, pale basement dweller. I mean, no offense to gangly, pale people. I'm pale. I'm not gangly, but I feel like I crossed the line. I feel like I body shamed. I'm sorry. All I'm saying is that I hope that a spider crawls into this person's ear while they're sleeping.